Historically, 3D design of lab automation systems has taken place by engineers in bulky and slow CAD tools that have a high barrier of entry. But with Lab Designer, you're able to quickly design and bring to life any automation idea that historically has had to be routed through subject matter experts or engineering departments within minutes. Lab Designer is a browser-based 3D design tool that helps you quickly create, visualize, and validate lab automation systems and full lab layouts. The reason that we built this is that typically HighRes and other automation vendors have to use CAD suites to create these 3D designs for your systems, which is great for detailed engineering work, but not so great for collaboration and sharing with non-engineers. So they're generally bulky and slow and have a high barrier of entry. So with Lab Designer, users of any skill level can explore different automation concepts, communicate ideas, bring automation to life in a lightweight 3D tool right in your browser. With the overview of the UI here on the left, we have our component library. Included in this library are system infrastructure components, so things like carts, docks, robots, and tables that act as the basis for high-res automation. You'll also find devices or instruments in the left pane here. So we have a large library that consists of devices and instruments of all sorts of different applications that fit your needs. We also have components that you would typically find in labs, things like bottles, waste bins, benches, so you can really build out not just the automation systems, but your entire lab space. In the center of the screen here in the Lab Designer UI, you have the 3D viewport, or what we commonly call the canvas. This is the area where you interact with the 3D objects that you drag in from the component library and control the positioning, rotation of all of the instruments and infrastructure around a system. So I can start with a new system here. Typically, you would start with your robot. So for this example, I will show what it looks like to add a ZCell Pod here. ZCell Pod is a C10 robot, or the ZCell, that sits on top of a nucleus pod here. I'm able to quickly and easily drag in surrounding components. So for example, things like tables, and snap them directly to surfaces, and then drag in my necessary instruments. So if I know that I need a Agilent play lock, I can drag that in, rotate it, and place it directly onto a surface. I'm also able to verify reach of that device based off of the different robot I have. So if I activate the reach bubble, I can verify, looking at the device nest, that it is within reach of the robot, and quickly and easily build out a system with all of my device lists that way, or instrument lists. Lab Designer also supports high-res MicroDocks and carts. So in the tool, I'm able to drag in things like docks and X-docks, bring them into position, and then dock corresponding components into place to really show off that scalability of high-res systems. So in this example, I'm bringing over a 3-tier cart, and you'll notice that it's snapped directly into place on the dock. This also works for things like the SteriStore and ThunderStore. So I'm able to quickly bring it in and snap it into place. Lab Designer also supports templates. So if I know my application but don't necessarily know what device list or other requirements or what system infrastructure would best fit my needs, I can access our template library here and look at the application ready section. If I know that biochemistry is my application, I can take a look at a biochemistry system here and take a look at all the instruments that are present in our design assets folder and modify as needed. These were all built 100% in Lab Designer. For planning out entire lab spaces, we also have the ability to add rooms. If you know the overall dimensions of your available space for automation, then you can add those in easily as well to act as the bounds for your design space. Or you can contact HighRes and be provided actual lab drawings as well. I have an example here of a large kind of generic 3-room lab space that we can use as an example here. So you'll see things like walkways and door swings, as well as typical lab components like benches, sinks, and cabinets that were designed in Lab Designer. And then once I have my lab space here, I can verify the fit and visualize different lab automation systems in the context of the lab. So I've just dropped in a Echo MS system on a ZCell Pod, and you can see that within the context of your lab. So Lab Designer also supports upload of models from Polycam, which is a third-party app that uses a depth sensing camera on your phone to generate a point cloud and create floor layouts of your lab. In this example here, I will upload a model that is an export of 2 conference rooms and a cafeteria in our Beverly office. And what's really cool about this is it just took me a few minutes taking a video of these spaces in our office and then exporting. We didn't do any post-processing on this model before uploading it in, and you can see that it was able to capture all common office and lab components as well. A common challenge our customers have is visualizing systems in the context of their space and planning accordingly before actually receiving those automation components in their lab. And with Lab Designer, if you want to see what you've designed in the context of your lab, you can do that quickly and easily. So here I will just upload Echo FlexCart from our templates and drag it in, and you can see what that might look like in the context of your lab space. Something really exciting we've also been working on is Lab Designer integration with Lab Assistant. And here you get the full power of Lab Assistant in the Lab Designer UI with the added benefit of 3D context. So as you add 3D components from your library into the canvas, Lab Assistant's aware of those components and can collaborate with you on your system design. Each component and instrument in our library and here in the 3D space is linked to a wealth of data from our 20 years of experience in lab automation, which means that you can ask Lab Assistant about your current design, and it will infer capabilities and provide feedback to you about your system or your lab. Here, I've just added a quick prompt into Lab Assistant, and I have our biochemistry system loaded in the scene. I'm asking Lab Assistant about capabilities and areas for improvement, and you can see that within seconds, Lab Assistant is able to give me detailed feedback on current capabilities and how I might iterate and improve on my design. So Lab Assistant with Lab Designer allows you to go from scientific intent to system design, protocol creation, and simulation faster than you ever have before. We've added in-app feedback features into Lab Designer that easily allow you to contact the project team. You have this feedback button in the lower right part of the viewport. And through this button, you can report issues, send us ideas or request component library updates, and rate your experience. And this tool is great for things like bug reporting because you can draw directly onto your screen, provide a description of the issue, and submit it, and that gets directly funneled to the project team. You can also send us an idea or request. So if you find that there's features that you think would enhance your experience within Lab Designer, you can provide that feedback here. Or if you're missing a component that is not in the component library, you can also provide a request through this UI. And then you can also rate your experience and let us know how we did.